Okay, let's unpack this. We are undertaking a serious deep dive today, really getting into the weeds, moving beyond just, simple motivational stuff.
Right, into the actual behavioral architecture.
Exactly. We've got this, well, it's like a manifesto, really, a collection of 50 scientifically backed life improvements.
Hmm,
But our mission here isn't to treat this as some overwhelming prescriptive to-do list. That's not the point.
definitely not. It should be seen more as a sophisticated toolkit.
A toolkit, yes. We're examining the hidden blueprints, the kind of structural underpinnings of what it genuinely takes to enact a real 1% life reset.
And we absolutely have to, right off the bat, establish a central paradox here. Because if you get this one point, it's basically the antidote to all that self-improvement failure we see.
Which is?
The sheer idea of having 50 steps. That number itself, that volume, is probably the number 1 reason people just collapse under the weight of it.
I totally agree. And the research on this stuff is, frankly, brutally clear. We fail. Not because we aren't sincere, not because the desire isn't there.
No, it's rarely about desire.
It's because we try these radical overhauls. We attempt to implement way too many changes all at once.
Too big.
Too big, exactly. We start habits that are just way too large, too demanding up front. And we get fixated on chasing some spectacular visible result.
Like a total transformation overnight.
Yeah, a complete physical or financial metamorphosis, like poof. Instead of focusing on building, a quiet, almost boring, non-negotiable daily ritual.
Precisely. And that's the core philosophy driving this whole deep dive. It's a fundamental pivot we need to make.
Okay.
Shifting from that mindset focused on grand, shiny goals to one that's almost obsessed with designing inescapable systems.
Inescapable systems, I like that.
Yeah, so this list, these 50 items, they have to be viewed through the lens of what some call atomic habits.
Tiny habits.
Tiny, almost invisible, 1% improvements. But, and this is key, they're practiced relentlessly, consistently, until they start generating compound interest for your entire existence.
So the goal isn't finishing the project.
No, the goal is constructing a system that makes sustained good behavior, well, frankly, the path of least resistance.
Okay, let's really dig into the mechanics of failure then. Why is starting too big? Why is that so damn detrimental to the structure we're trying to build here?
Well, think about it structurally. Any system fails if the initial load on its foundation is just too heavy, right?
Right. Makes sense.
The moment you try to implement, say, 5 massive high-friction changes simultaneously.
Like a super restrictive diet, hitting the gym hard every day, quitting all scream.
Exactly. All at once. You are absolutely guaranteed to hit severe decision fatigue. You just burn through your finite cognitive willpower.
And then what happens?
And then the whole damn edifice just collapses the second you encounter one genuinely stressful, chaotic day. Which, let's face it, happens.
Yeah, always happens.
And underneath that is this fundamental assumption people make. That small changes, well, they don't really add up to anything meaningful. They feel pointless.
But the math just completely destroys that assumption, doesn't it? We need to internalize the staggering power of that 1% improvement.
We really do.
Walk us through the compound interest math again, because this is where I think the skeptical listener finds the justification for what feels like minimal effort.
Okay, so if you approach your life deliberately with the intention of getting just 1% better each day.
1%. Sounds like nothing.
Almost imperceptible, right? A minimal gain. But that tiny, consistent increment compounded daily means you will mathematically be 37 times better by the end of just 1 year.
37 times? That's...
Conversely, if you slip by just 1% each day, you're heading towards 0 pretty damn fast.
So the difference isn't some huge, heroic effort.
No. It's the aggregation of marginal gains, tiny wins stacked up. This isn't just some theoretical motivational poster fluff. It's a demonstrable exponential return on minimal sustained effort.
That structural reality, it changes everything. It really does. Which leads us to maybe the most profound shift here. Moving from results-based goals to identity-based habit formation.
Yes. This is critical.
Explain that difference. If my goal is just read a book.
Okay, so read a book is a result. It's finite. You achieve it or you don't. If you miss a day of reading, you feel like a failure.
Right, reinforcing that negative self-talk.
Exactly. But if your aim is to affirm the identity of being a lifelong learner, to actually become a reader,
Okay.
then every single time you read even one page, you are reinforcing that chosen self. You're casting a vote, committing an act of self-definition for that new identity you're building.
So every tiny action is like an affirmation, irrefutable proof of the person you're becoming.
Precisely. You stop managing the scoreboard, obsessing over the result, and you start managing the system that actually produces the winning result.
Got it. So across this deep dive, we'll see these 50 micro habits, they're organized, right, into pillars.
Yeah, into 5 crucial kind of load-bearing pillars that support this new identity structure. There's the physical self, the mental architecture, the realm of productivity, our vital connections, and finally, long-term growth and finance.
So we're building a whole system, a sophisticated, well-rounded human system.
That's the goal.
All right, here's where the rubber really meets the road, I think, because we have to start with the bedrock, don't we? The physical self.
Absolutely, it's foundational.
Mental clarity, emotional resilience, deep focus. I mean, all of that stuff is structurally impossible, isn't it, if the body is basically running on empty, on fumes.
Completely impossible. You have to treat the mind and body as these irrevocably connected systems. They aren't separate things.
So let's examine that foundational architecture first. Pillar 1.
Okay, the initial step, item 1 on the list, is maybe the single most non-negotiable component in the entire damn system.
Yeah, it is.
Prioritizing 7 to 9 hours of genuinely restorative sleep every night.
Sleep. Our culture treats it like a luxury, doesn't it? Something you cut back on to be more productive.
It's insane. Physiologically, it is a non-negotiable biological necessity. It's not optional. This is when the brain literally repairs itself, clearing out metabolic waste through lymphatic drainage.
Right, it regenerates tissue, consolidates memory.
Yeah, transforming short-term experiences into actual long-term knowledge. It's critical work.
And the cost of neglecting this foundation, it's huge. It goes way beyond just feeling a bit groggy, right?
Oh, way beyond. Routinely insufficient or fragmented sleep is frighteningly linked to the erosion of long-term health. We're talking direct contributions to 7 of the 15 leading causes of death.
7, like what?
Cardiovascular disease, stroke, metabolic dysfunction like diabetes, even a compromised immune system making you susceptible to everything else. It's serious stuff.
So the benefits aren't just about feeling less tired.
Not at all. They're foundational to cognitive performance, emotional stability, even weight regulation. Everything connects back to sleep quality.
Okay, so how do we operationalize this? What's the how?
Well, it's tangible and it's environmental. You have to practice actual sleep hygiene,
Right.
like setting a specific wind-down alarm,
Yeah.
maybe 30 minutes before your target bedtime, not just a wake-up alarm.
Wind down alarm. Okay.
And crucially, item 1 emphasizes making the bedroom a mandatory tech-free zone. No phones, no tablets, no TV.
Because of the blue light.
Exactly. That blue light exposure from screens actively messes with your melatonin production. That's the hormone signaling it's time to rest. Removing the devices is a powerful systemic signal. Arousal time is over.
Got it. Okay, now moving to building that micro-habit strategy for identity. Item 2, the 1 push-up rule. This feels like the ultimate low-friction starting point.
It totally is. And the goal here, remember, is not immediate fitness. You're not trying to get ripped on day 1.
Right. The goal is building the identity of someone who is active.
Precisely. Committing to just 1 single push-up is so minimal, it's almost laughably easy. It's beneath that activation energy barrier.
So you remove all the mental friction, the decision fatigue.
Gone. You simply cannot rationally argue yourself out of doing 1 push-up. It takes, what, 3 seconds?
True.
And that's the genius of it. It's purely a mechanism for overcoming inertia,
Yeah.
getting started,
And it builds momentum.
builds momentum. On the days you feel energetic, guess what? You'll probably do more. 3, 5, maybe 10. Who knows?
But on the bad days,
On the days you feel exhausted, stressed, overwhelmed, you still commit that 1 push-up. No excuses.
so you keep the streak alive.
You reinforce the habit pattern, you maintain the chain of consistency, and crucially, you affirm the identity of an active person, regardless of the immediate visible result that day.
Another low-friction one is item 3, the 5-minute micro-walk. That seems tiny, too.
Tiny, but significant.
Yeah.
For someone stuck at a desk for 8 hours, completely sedentary, even 5 minutes of movement breaks that dangerous stillness.
It's like a systemic intervention.
It is. It boosts endorphins, improves mood by getting more oxygen to the brain, signals vitality. It's a small input with potentially big downstream effects.
Okay, and we can leverage existing routines for these things, right? Like item 5, drinking 1 glass of water first thing in the morning.
Classic keystone habit. Tiny action, massive ripple effects. It prevents that mild dehydration that research clearly shows correlates with unclear thinking, headaches, mood dips.
And it kickstarts your metabolism.
Supports immediate metabolism upon waking. Yeah.
So how do we implement that easily?
It relies entirely on making it obvious. The rule should be a habit stack. After I wake up, before I do anything else, coffee, phone, whatever, swear, I will drink 1 glass of water.
And the environmental cue.
Put the glass on your nightstand the night before, it's right there. That visual cue makes the initiation almost automatic. No thinking required.
What if plain water just isn't appealing? I know people struggle with that.
Yeah, fair point. Item 6 suggests flavoring it to make the habit more attractive. Use mint, cucumber, a squeeze of lime, whatever works. Make it something you actually don't mind doing.
Okay, that makes sense. Then item 7 talks about eating your water. What's that about?
This is a more sophisticated approach to hydration than just chugging bottles all day. It means getting water via high water content foods.
Like watermelon, cucumbers, oranges?
Exactly. The water absorbed from food tends to be released more slowly into your system because of the fiber content.
So it aids in more sustained hydration, not just flushing through.
Right. It avoids that quick flush through you get with plain water sometimes and offers a more systemic, gradual hydration solution throughout the day.
Interesting. Okay, moving to nutrition. Item 8, shop the perimeter. This sounds like a brilliantly simple environmental strategy.
It is. It's about automating the right choice without having to think too hard. Where are the whole, fresh foods usually located in a grocery store?
Around the outside edges, produce, meat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perimeter.
Think
Where's
about
all the highly processed packaged stuff usually lurking?
Smack bang in the middle aisles.
Right. Loaded with refined sugars, weird chemical additives, unhealthy fats. So by making a simple rule for yourself, like 90% of my cart must come from the outer perimeter, you achieve a massive systemic nutritional upgrade.
Without agonizing over labels or counting calories?
Precisely. Minimal cognitive drain. And item 9 supports this with another micro habit. Add 1 vegetable to dinner. Again, it's additive, not restrictive. Focus on adding the good stuff.
Reinforcing the identity of a healthy eater.
Exactly.
Okay, finally for the physical, item 10, managing health metrics. Weight, blood pressure, cholesterol. This brings the philosophy full circle, right?
It absolutely does. These 4 metrics, often drawn from frameworks like the American Heart Association's Essential 8, they're critical indicators, yes. But crucially, they are the outcomes.
They're the result of the habits.
You never wrestle directly with the outcome. You don't manage your weight by staring at the scale. You manage the inputs. You manage the system itself.
So if you want to control blood pressure or cholesterol,
You have to diligently, consistently implement the habits we just talked about. Restorative sleep, systematic activity, consistent clean eating from the perimeter. The philosophy is paramount. Manage the daily ritual, and the complex results will take care of themselves organically.
okay, let's transition now. Pillar 2, the inner world. Because
Right.
you can have this, physically pristine machine,
Right, tuned up body.
but still be suffering from profound mental and emotional chaos inside. We need an architectural toolkit for emotional clarity, too.
Absolutely critical.
So, item 11, meditating for just 2 minutes. This is still so often misunderstood, isn't it? People think it's about forcing your mind to be silent.
Yeah, that's the biggest misconception, and it guarantees failure. It is not about silencing the mind. That's basically impossible for most people starting out.
So what is it about?
Observation. The practice is learning to simply observe your mind's activity, the thoughts, the feelings, without judgment, like watching clouds drift by.
So you set a 2-minute timer.
If.
Focus on your breath.
Use the breath as an anchor, yeah. And your mind will wander. That's guaranteed.
And that wandering isn't failure.
It's not failure, it's the point. The practice is the gentle, non-judgmental return to the breath over and over again. That's the rep. That's the mental push-up.
And even just 2 minutes has real effects.
Real measurable effects. It's scientifically proven to reduce the size of the amygdala, that's the brain's fear center / stress hormones, and improve mood by literally shifting neural pathways over time. 2 minutes is enough to start building the muscle.
Wow. Okay, then actively combating our sort of built-in negativity bias, we tend to focus on the bad stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Evolution hardwired us that way for survival. Bad events stick like Velcro, good ones slide off like Teflon.
So item 12 suggests a 3-item gratitude journal. How does that help rewire things?
By actively forcing your brain to scan for and focus on the positive evidence in your life, you begin that slow, deliberate process of counteracting the entrenched negative emotional tone. You're training your attention.
And the key here is specificity, right? Not just, I'm grateful for my family.
Exactly. Generic gratitude, like my job or my family, offers very little psychological traction. You need specifics.
Oy.
Like, I'm grateful for that unexpected quiet moment of focus I managed to grab this afternoon when the office finally went quiet. Or, I really appreciate the specific way my partner made that dumb joke that genuinely made me laugh out loud. Aim for the feeling, the depth of the experience.
And you don't even have to do it daily.
Research suggests it's so potent that even doing it just 1 to 3 times a week yields profound, measurable benefits in well-being and optimism.
Okay, items 13 and 14 deal with resilience, specifically tackling that harsh inner critic most of us seem to have.
Yeah, especially high achievers. That voice can be brutal.
And self-compassion. It gets a bad rap, doesn't it? Mistaken for self-pity or weakness.
Totally. But it's the opposite. It's actually an active tool for building structural emotional resilience. It's strength, not weakness.
So item 13, the 1-minute self-compassion break. How does that work?
Okay, in a moment of stress or failure or feeling inadequate, you take 1 minute and hit 3 points. First, acknowledge the suffering. This is really hard right now. That's mindfulness.
Okay.
Second, recognize that suffering and imperfection are universal. Everyone feels like this sometimes. It's part of being human.
Yeah.
That's common humanity. It stops the isolation.
Right.
And third, actively apply self-kindness. Literally say to yourself, may I be kind to myself in this difficult moment. Offer yourself warmth, not judgment.
And the other tool, item 14, using how we treat others.
This is maybe the most powerful reframe against the inner critic. Asking yourself point blank, how would you treat a friend right now?
Because we're usually much kinder to friends.
Almost universally, we're more forgiving, more patient, more understanding with our close friends than we are with ourselves. It's bizarre, but true.
So if you're beating yourself up,
Stop. Ask what genuinely supportive, constructive advice you'd offer your best friend in that exact same situation. And then this is crucial. Deliberately communicate those same words in that same supportive tone to yourself.
leverage our natural outward kindness inward.
Exactly. To reframe and fortify that inner dialogue.
We also need strong boundaries, right? Items 15, 16, 17, to protect this mental clarity we're trying to build.
Absolutely essential in today's world. The relentless barrage of digital pings, notifications, the 204/7 negative news cycle is profoundly detrimental to sustained focus and mental health. It creates constant low-grade anxiety.
So item 15, set one deliberate digital boundary. Like what?
That'd be anything small but consistent, like no checking news before 9 a.m. to protect your morning focus, or actively unfollowing the 3 social media accounts that most reliably trigger negative feelings or comparison. Just one small shield.
And item 16 targets professional burnout. One clear workplace boundary.
Yeah. The simplest, most systematic way is often just clearly communicating your available working hours. Put it right there in your email signature.
Available MF, 9 to 5. Responses outside these hours may be delayed, something like that.
Exactly. Or blocking out specific focus time chunks in your shared calendar that colleagues can see are non-negotiable. It manages external expectations and gives you permission to mentally clock out. Protects your reserve.
And item 17, interpersonal time boundaries. Saying no. That's hard for people.
So hard. But it's about mastering the ability to say no, politely but firmly, without feeling obligated to provide a sprawling, elaborate excuse.
Just
Well, maybe slightly softer. I really appreciate the invitation, but unfortunately I won't be able to make it. That is a complete self-respecting sentence. You don't owe anyone a detailed justification for protecting your time or energy.
Good point. Then item 18, identifying emotions. Just knowing what you're feeling.
Crucial first step. You can't manage or process an emotion if you haven't first acknowledged and labeled it, even just to yourself, through journaling or quiet reflection. Okay, I'm feeling resentment right now. Name it to tame it.
And finally, item 20, mindfulness doesn't need a special cushion.
Not at all. The technique of mindful dishwashing or mindful commuting is powerful. It just means paying acute, non-judgmental attention to the actual sensory details of the present moment.
Like the water temperature, the soap smell.
The texture of the sponge, the sound of traffic, the feeling of your feet on the pavement. And when your mind inevitably wanders off, which it will, you just gently, kindly bring it back to the sensation over and over. It's training presence in everyday life. Okay, so if we connect this now to the bigger picture, this third pillar, productivity and focus, this is where we really mark a definitive shift, I think.
Yes, so.
We're moving beyond just managing our internal state, our motivation, and into consciously designing an external, almost inescapable system for getting things done.
Right. Like that quote, you don't rise to the level of your goal.
You fall to the level of your systems,
Right.
exactly. So we have to design a productivity architecture that's so well built, we basically can't fail to use it, even on our bad days.
Okay, so what's the chief mechanic for building new habits into this architecture?
Item 21, habit stacking. This is the absolute bedrock for making any new behavior obvious and integrating it seamlessly.
How does it work again?
It works by linking your new desired behavior directly to an existing, deeply ingrained habit you already perform automatically without thinking, like brushing your teeth.
So you piggyback on the existing neural pathway.
Exactly. You leverage that established connection for a super low-friction start. The simple formula is powerful. After I do X, my current habit, I will immediately do Y, my new habit.
Give me an example.
Okay, maybe for a knowledge worker. After I pour my first cup of coffee in the morning, existing habit, I will immediately review my top 3 priorities for the day for 2 minutes, new habit.
Or using the micro habit idea.
After I brush my teeth at night, existing habit, I will immediately floss 1 tooth, new habit. Or after I close my laptop at the end of the workday, existing habit, I will immediately place my gym bag by the front door, new habit.
Takes the guesswork out. Automates the start sequence.
Complete.
Okay, now prioritization. This requires some brutal honesty, doesn't it, about where our energy actually goes?
Ruthless honesty, yeah.
Yeah.
Which brings us to item 22, the classic, eat the frog.
Ah, yes, Mark Twain. The dreaded task.
But the frog isn't just any task. It's specifically the most important, highest impact item on your list that you also happen to be dreading or most likely to procrastinate on.
And the strategy is?
Tackle it first thing, absolutely first thing in your workday. Capitalize on your peak morning cognitive energy and your fullest willpower reserves before the day descends into chaos.
And the architectural prep for that.
Identify that specific frog task the night before. Write it down. Make it unavoidable. Eliminate the need for morning decision-making when you're groggy.
So first thing you do, eat the frog. Before email, before meetings.
Before anything trivial can derail you or deplete your focus. This deliberate choice creates an immediate, significant win. It builds momentum for the whole day and guarantees you move the needle on what actually matters most.
Okay, so the frog is eaten. How do we structure the rest of the day effectively?
We implement item 23, time blocking, and item 24, task batching. Because, let's be honest, a traditional to-do list is often just, well, a list of anxieties and vague wishes.
Too much.
Time blocking transforms that wish list into a concrete plan. It forces you to divide your actual day into specific, dedicated, non-negotiable blocks of time for specific activities or types of work.
And the discipline required.
You have to treat your self-assigned task blocks like 9:11 a.m. work on Project X report with the exact same seriousness as you'd treat an external meeting with your boss or a client. It's scheduled, it's real.
So you actually put it in your calendar.
Open your digital calendar, realistically estimate how long tasks will take, usually longer than you think, and schedule them in. Task batching supports this brilliantly by grouping similar, low-focus tasks together.
Like email.
Exactly. Instead of checking email constantly, interrupting deep work every 15 minutes, you batch it. Check and respond to emails only during 2 designated 20-minute blocks per day, say 11:30 a.m. and 4:00 p.m.
And that minimizes.
It minimizes the profound energy drain of context switching. Constantly shifting your mental focus between different types of tasks is incredibly inefficient.
Speaking of context switching, item 25. The harsh truth about multitasking.
Oh yeah, the multitasking delusion. It needs to be stated clearly. Genuine multitasking, doing 2 high-focus tasks simultaneously, basically does not exist in the human brain.
It's really just rapid switching back and forth.
Rapid serial context switching.
Yeah.
And the data on how inefficient this is, it's genuinely stunning. It can cost an individual up to 40% of their potential productive time.
40%.
Leads to dramatically higher error rates, too.
Yeah.
And there's even compelling research suggesting that constant switching can temporarily lower your effective IQ more than, like, smoking pot.
Wow. Okay, so the solution is?
Absolute single tasking within your dedicated time block. Laser focus. This means closing every browser tab that isn't essential for the task at hand.
Phone.
Phone goes in another room entirely, or at least on silent, out of sight. Dedicate undivided cognitive attention to the scheduled task for that block.
But what about those internal interruptions? Thoughts popping into your head.
Ah, great question. That's where item 26 comes in. Keep a physical distraction list or notepad right next to your workspace.
So when you think, oh, I need to email Bob.
Write it down immediately on the list. Email Bob, Redot Project, or order cat food. Whatever it is, that simple physical act gets the thought out of your working memory. You trust the list.
So you can release it and return to focus.
Exactly. Without that nagging internal anxiety that you'll forget the fleeting thought. Capture it, then refocus.
We also need to intentionally re-engineer the digital environment itself, right?
Critically important. Item 27, establishing tech-free zones, is a powerful environmental change for reclaiming focus and presence.
We mentioned the bedroom for sleep.
Essential. And the other absolutely crucial zone is the dinner table. Protecting that space for genuine, undistracted human connection is vital for relationships. Put the phones away during meal.
And notifications. The constant pings.
We have to recognize these are not benign reminders. Phone notifications are meticulously engineered for attention theft by very smart people.
So item 28, turn them off.
Turn off all non-essential notifications, everything except maybe calls or texts from specific key people. This is arguably one of the fastest, highest leverage actions you can take.
To reduce anxiety and restore focus.
Instantly.
Yeah.
You regain control. You check your apps on your schedule when you choose to, not on the schedule dictated by external random pings designed to hijack your attention. This systemic control shifts back to you.
Okay, now for a really advanced trick. Item 29, grayscale mode. Tell me about this.
This one is brilliant. It's a behavioral de-addiction tactic for your smartphone. Why are we so drawn to constantly checking our phones?
The colors, the little red badges.
Exactly. We are fundamentally Pavlovianly addicted to the vibrant, high-contrast, dopamine-triggering colors of the app icons and notification badges. They're designed to be irresistible, like a slot machine.
So grayscale mode.
Strips all the color away. Renders the entire device interface in shades of gray. And the effect is, well, profound.
How so?
It makes the device profoundly unattractive. The immediate sensory reward, that little dopamine hit from the bright colors, is completely drained out of the interface.
What was your experience?
The first time I did it, I remember picking up my phone purely out of habit, like dozens of times a day. I saw the dull, boring gray screen, felt almost repulsed, and instantly put it back down without even unlocking it.
So it breaks the unconscious loop.
It totally does.
Yeah.
It converts the device back into a utilitarian tool rather than a stimulating addictive toy. Users consistently report a massive reduction in impulsive, unconscious phone checking. It's surprisingly effective.
Damn. Okay, finally for productivity. Item 30, the Eisenhower matrix. Urgent versus important.
Yes, the classic mental model for sophisticated daily prioritization. It forces you to make a clear, conscious distinction between tasks that feel urgent.
Which often means they're serving someone else's agenda, right?
Right.
Reacting to emails, putting out fires.
Exactly. Versus tasks that are truly important, the ones that actually move you towards your long-term goals, your chosen identity.
And where does success live? Where's the frog?
Success the Frog lives almost exclusively in Quadrant 2, the important but not urgent quadrant. These are the tasks that require proactive effort planning, deep work, relationship building, learning.
So our focus needs to be there.
Your primary focus must be on deliberately scheduling and completing those tasks first, protecting that time fiercely from the constant tyranny of the urgent, reactive stuff that fills Quadrant 1.
Okay, so what does this all mean for our life outside of ourselves? We've worked on fortifying the inner physical and mental mechanisms, optimized the productivity engine. Now we look outward.
Exactly. Because peak health, sustained happiness, they aren't solitary pursuits. They fundamentally rely on external structures too, particularly our connections. And this is where the data, both behavioral and medical, becomes genuinely staggering. It really demands our attention. Item 31 introduces this profound research finding.
From the Harvard study, the really long one.
Yeah, the Harvard study of adult development, among others, it shows consistently that strong, warm social ties are incredibly protective of your actual physical health.
How protective?
So protective that people in the study who had robust social support systems, even if they had some unhealthy habits like smoking, they actually lived statistically longer, healthier lives than people who had weak social ties but were otherwise healthy.
No way. Longer than healthy loners.
Longer than healthy loners. Chronic social isolation acts like a toxin. It's a serious risk factor for disease, often triggering chronic inflammation, elevated cortisol. It's bad news.
So our relationships are literally a pillar of health, like sleep or nutrition.
Structurally, yes, a core pillar.
Wow. Okay, so if connections are that vital, What's the fundamental skill we need to master to build those strong ties?
It has to be active listening. Item 31. This is the core behavioral mechanism that builds genuine trust, fosters deep empathy, makes people feel truly connected to you.
And it's more than just staying quiet while someone talks.
Oh, much more. It's not passive silence. It's active, demonstrated validation. The single most critical practical technique is reflect and paraphrase.
How does that work?
When the other person pauses, you try to articulate their feelings or the core of their message back to them in your own words to check your understanding.
So you might say something like, okay, so if I'm hearing you right, it sounds like you're feeling really frustrated about X, but also maybe a little hopeful about Y.
Exactly like that. It does two things brilliantly.
Uh-huh.
It confirms you've actually understood them correctly or gives them a chance to clarify. And more importantly, it makes them feel profoundly, fundamentally heard and validated. That's incredibly connecting.
But in our crazy busy lives, just intending to connect isn't enough, is it?
Intentions fail constantly. Item 32 is crucial. Scheduling connection. That vague, hey, we should totally grab lunch sometime, almost never happens.
Guilty as charged.
We all are. Social connection is so vital to our well-being, it has to be treated like any other high-priority appointment. Put it on the damn calendar.
Like Tuesday, 7 p.m., video call with sister, or Saturday, 11 a.m., coffee with Dave.
Precisely. And then you protect that time block just as fiercely as you'd protect a critical work meeting, because it is critical maintenance for your health architecture.
Okay, item 33 addresses something else I think we all do. Waiting for others to reach out first.
Oh, the hesitation barrier. We get stuck thinking, oh, I don't want to bother them, or they're probably too busy. It's a massive cognitive error.
Why an error?
Because research consistently shows we significantly underestimate how much a simple, genuine, out-of-the-blue, hey, just thinking of you, hope you're having a good week, text or quick call is appreciated by the recipient.
So we should just make the first move more often.
Make the small, surprising gesture of connection. It's often deeply powerful precisely because it wasn't expected or required. It shows you care.
Connection also extends beyond just close friends and family, right?
Absolutely. Item 34 encourages joining one community group. Could be anything, a local volunteer organization, a professional network, a book club, a hiking group, whatever aligns with your interests. Builds that sense of broader community connection and belonging.
And item 35, committing to an act of service or structured volunteering. That's a powerful one.
Hugely powerful win-win. Yes, it demonstrably helps the community or cause you're serving, but the health benefits for the volunteer are substantial and well documented.
Like what?
It combats isolation, reduces personal stress levels by shifting focus outward, provides a deep sense of purpose and meaning, and statistically, regular volunteers tend to have lower mortality rates and consistently report better mood profiles.
Wow. Even small stuff helps. Item 36, giving to others in small ways.
Micro acts of pro-social behavior, yeah. Mentoring a junior colleague for 10 minutes, paying for the coffee for the person behind you in line, holding a door with a genuine smile. These tiny acts of generosity are proven to give you, the giver, an immediate mood boost and reinforce that identity of being a contributing, kind person.
Okay, items 37 through 40 seem to focus on deepening the ties we already have. Like item 37, proactive appreciation.
Yeah, don't wait for a birthday or a special occasion. Tell the important people in your life now what you specifically appreciate about them. Hey, I was just thinking about how much I value your advice on X. Or, I really appreciate how you always manage to make me laugh when I'm stressed. Concrete, proactive appreciation strengthens bonds.
And item 40, practicing empathy. That ties back to active listening.
It's the engine behind effective active listening. It requires you to really try and tune in to the emotional subtext behind the words someone is saying. What are they really feeling? And then responding in a way that acknowledges that feeling, offering support rather than just jumping in to fix the surface problem.
All right, we've reached our final pillar, growth and expansion. This feels like the continuous maintenance and, well, expansion part of the system, keeping it resilient and rich.
Exactly. It's about ensuring the system doesn't stagnate. It keeps evolving.
So, item 41, the reading micro habit again, just one page. This really embodies that low-friction start, doesn't it?
Perfectly. Who doesn't have 90 seconds?
Yeah.
Even on the absolute craziest, most frantic day, you can probably manage to read one single page of a book.
It seems almost trivial.
The commitment is ridiculously easy, which is the point. It keeps the habit alive, keeps the chain unbroken, even when life feels overwhelming. And that single page is still a concrete vote cast for the identity of being a reader, a lifelong learner.
And the cognitive benefits are real, even from small amounts.
Immense over time. Reading strengthens neural pathways, demonstrably reduces stress by shifting your focus, and crucially increases empathy by forcing you to inhabit other perspectives and worlds.
Item 42 extends this to learning a new skill, but again, micro, just 10 minutes a day.
Yeah. Deliberate, focused practice on anything new. Learning an instrument, a language, coding, whatever, even in these tiny bursts, physically changes your brain. It builds myelin, which is the fatty sheath that insulates neural fibers. More myelin means faster, more efficient signal transmission between neurons. You're literally upgrading your brain's wiring.
And it boosts confidence, prevents decline.
Huge confidence booster as you see progress, and yes, lifelong learning is one of the most powerful preventative measures we know against age-related cognitive decline. Keep that brain active and challenged.
But we need the right mindset for this learning, right? Item 43, the growth mindset reframe. This seems critical.
Absolutely vital. We have to consciously shift away from a fixed mindset.
Where you believe your abilities are just set in stone. I'm not a math person. I'm just not a good writer.
Exactly. That mindset is incredibly limiting. We need to cultivate a growth mindset, which is the understanding that abilities are malleable, they can be developed through dedication and hard work.
So instead of I'm not good at X, it's
I'm currently working on my writing skills, or I'm learning how to manage my budget more effectively. Failure in this view isn't a final judgment on your innate ability.
it's just
It's just data, information, a starting point for adjusting your strategy, your system. Recognizing honestly where you are right now is the essential prerequisite for engineering change and improvement.
okay, let's talk money. Items 44 and 45 focus on financial control. This often feels like restriction, but you're saying it's stress reduction.
Profound stress reduction and empowerment. Budgeting isn't about denying yourself everything you enjoy. It's about gaining conscious control over where your money goes, aligning your spending with your values and goals.
So item 44, the 5 steps to a basic budget, what are they quickly?
Okay. 1. Estimate your monthly income. 2. Identify and track all your necessary expenses. Rent, utilities, food basics, debt.
Hmm.
3. Compare income to expenses, see the baseline. 4.
Yeah.
Rigorously track all your spending for at least 30 days to see where the money is actually going. This is often eye-opening. 5. Adjust the system based on that real-world data. Create categories, set limits.
That tracking part sounds tedious.
It can be, which is why, for many people, the ultimate environmental architecture for financial success is item 45. Automate a pay-yourself-first budget.
This removes willpower.
Completely removes willpower and decision fatigue from the saving equation. You set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to a dedicated savings or investment account
When?
the very day you get paid, or the day after. Before you pay rent, before utilities, before any discretionary spending, you systematically pay your future self first.
Making saving mandatory?
Mandatory and automatic. It just happens in the background.
And there are models for this, like 50, 30, 20.
Yeah, that's a popular, simple one. Roughly 50% of your take-home pay goes towards essential needs, housing, food, transport, minimum debt payments. 30% towards wants, entertainment, dining out, hobbies.
Yeah.
And a crucial 20% is dedicated first to savings and paying off debt above the minimums.
So you automate that 20% transfer.
You automate that 20% or whatever percentage works for you right off the top. It makes financial progress a systemic certainty, not a daily struggle against impulse spending.
Okay, item 49 feels like it brings us full circle, summarizing that core identity philosophy.
It really does. It reiterates that the ultimate goal of this entire 50-step system isn't just the isolated results, losing weight, getting a promotion, saving X amount. The real goal is to become the specific type of person who embodies these qualities.
The person who is active, kind, focused, growing, financially empowered.
Exactly. So every single time you commit that 10 minutes of learning, or you complete that one push-up, or you practice that active listening, you are casting a concrete, irrefutable vote, an act of self-definition for the kind of person you are actively, intentionally building. Hashtag tag outro.
No.
This raises the big important question, right? The operational challenge. We've just gone through 50 damn items across 5 pillars. It's a lot.
Yeah, sounds overwhelming just listening to it all laid out.
So how does someone actually start? How do you initiate change after hearing all this without being immediately crushed by the sheer volume and just giving up before day one?
And the answer is you don't try to do it all.
Exactly. This entire list, all 50 items, think of it as your personal development menu, a buffet of options.
So the challenge isn't to attempt all 50 at once. Hell no.
The challenge is to scan the menu and identify the single smallest, easiest habit on there for you. The one that feels so ridiculously simple, so low friction, that you genuinely feel like you cannot fail to do it.
Like, what's the absolute minimum viable habit? Is it the 2 minutes of meditation?
Maybe. Is it flossing just one tooth? Drinking that first glass of water?
Yeah.
Doing one push-up? Choose your absolute lowest friction initiation point, the path of least resistance.
Okay, so you pick that one tiny thing, then what?
Then you systematically apply the 4 laws of behavior change, as famously outlined by James Clear, to make that one chosen habit practically inescapable. You architected success.
Okay, law one.
Make it obvious. This is about designing the cue, the trigger. Use habit stacking after X equal Y, or set up physical environmental cues.
Put your running shoes right by the front door, put the water glass on the nightstand, set the savings transfer to autopay.
Exactly. Make the cue impossible to miss. Law 2.
Make it attractive. You gotta want to do it, at least a little.
Yeah, pair the minimal effort habit with something you already genuinely look forward to. Temptation bundling.
Like you only get to listen to your absolute favorite can't miss podcast.
While you are doing your required 5-minute micro walk, make the habit the gateway to something you crave.
Okay, law 3. This feels crucial for starting.
Make it easy. Critically important for breaking inertia. Shrink the habit down until it feels almost absurdly minimal. Reduce the friction.
Don't aim to write a novel chapter. Aim to write one single sentence.
Don't aim to get in shape. Aim to perform one single push-up. Lower that barrier to entry until starting the habit requires virtually zero willpower or motivation. Make it too easy not to do.
And finally, law 4.
Make it satisfying. Your brain needs an immediate reward to reinforce the loop. You must give yourself some kind of immediate, tangible, or psychological payoff.
Doesn't have to be huge, right?
Not at all. Could be as simple as marking a big red X on a physical calendar. Maintaining the streak, not breaking the chain, is powerfully satisfying in itself. That visual progress is rewarding.
Or just the immediate psychological affirmation, I did it. I kept the promise to myself.
That consistency breeds self-trust, which is profoundly satisfying and boosts the positive feedback loop.
So wrapping this all up, if success really isn't about rising to the level of our grandest ambitions, but actually about falling, inevitably, to the structural level of our everyday systems.
Which research suggests it absolutely is.
Then true personal mastery, real change, it doesn't lie in conquering some huge, audacious goal in one leap. It lies in obsessively, diligently tweaking the smallest, most fundamental mechanisms of your daily routine.
The most elegant, enduring architecture is always built on the simplest, strongest, load-bearing foundations. Not necessarily the flashiest.
So the provocative thought to leave everyone with today is this. Ask yourself honestly right now. Is the system I currently have in place, my daily routines, my environment, my defaults, is it sophisticated enough and, more importantly, low friction enough to reliably deliver the identity I claim I want to embody?
And if the answer is maybe, or probably not, then don't get overwhelmed. Just pick your one tiny atomic habit from the menu, apply the 4 laws, and define your first crucial vote for that new identity today.